Good morning, Phoenix here, day 27 on trail. I'm approaching mile 312, and I got up a little bit earlier than I normally do this morning. Slept in the shelter last night. It was a full shelter, and then we had about probably 7 or 8 people camped around the shelter at a pretty small site. So yeah, I fell asleep about 7:30 after a 19-mile day. Pretty exhausted last night. That was about the most tired I've been after a day of hiking. And woke up at 6, and I was out of camp by 6:45, and already put in about 3 miles before 8 o'clock this morning. So yeah, feeling pretty good. A little tired. I wasn't hungry for breakfast. So I didn't eat anything but a Cliff Bar and some electrolyte drink this morning. I'm coming down the hill, and I actually saw a sign not too far back that said there's a hostel that's not on our maps, and it said they have pizza and cold drinks available. So I could certainly go for a pizza for breakfast this morning. I'm not going to get my hopes up too much because sometimes things are not as advertised out here as in the real world, but yeah, it would be pretty awesome to just stroll into a hostel and have a nice meal and then take off and continue on. I have no idea how many miles I'm up for today. There's a hostel that's a shelter again that's 19 miles from the starting point this morning, so that puts me about 16 miles away. But there's a lot of uphills today. We're climbing quite a bit like yesterday, so I don't want to slaughter my legs. And I'm about 32 miles from the next town, but I've got enough food to last me for at least a few days. So I'm not in a huge hurry. If it takes me 3 days to get there, that's cool. And that's 3 pretty simple, manageable 10 to 11 mile days, and not killing myself. So I'm trying to pace myself and still enjoy the experience, and recognize that, as my cousin said when she dropped me off at the very beginning of this thing, this is not a race. I do find myself falling into that mentality sometimes. Like even yesterday, I was hiking with a couple of guys who they're pushing, and one of them's done 2 of the big 3 trails already, the Continental Divide and the Pacific Crest Trail. So he's going for his triple crown on this one. So he is fit, capable of going uphill at twice the pace I do. And I was trying to keep up with him. And it's like, you got to remind yourself, like, you're not in a race with this guy, and he is far more experienced at this than you. So slow down, build up, enjoy the pace, and most of all, just have fun with it. So, all right, I'm coming up on the road here, so let's see what we've got for hostel offerings. Sometimes you get a beautiful waterfall to greet you in the morning. Love it. And this is a very nice stop for some fresh water. So I'll probably drink about a half liter and then fill up the bottle, and I'll be ready for the next 1.5 mile climb today. Doesn't get any better than that. A little after 10 in the morning, and we're walking across a sort of meadowy area with some pretty radical views in the background. That climb this morning was kind of brutal. Not as bad as yesterday's stuff. Not as bad as the stuff later today is going to be. But it was made a little easier by the pizza and Coke that I found at the shelter, or the hostel down by the road a few miles back. So thank you to the Laurel Hostel for your hospitality. $5 breakfast and a good little energy bump to get me going for the day. So I've got about 2 miles of downhill. Time to recoup a few more calories and some hydration and start thinking about the next pit stop. I think there's water about 3.5 miles ahead, so I'll stop and fill up the bottles there. Beautiful morning. Walking through this grassy area up on top of a hill, probably 3,500 feet up. You can see a little bit, the mountains off in the distance. And the sun is out, it's warmed up nicely. It's probably mid-50s right now, which feels great when you're going uphill. A little breeze cutting through the trees. Butterflies are floating around and the sun's peeking through the tops of the trees. I have about another mile, a little over a mile of uphill, and then I get to drop for a couple of miles. But this is not too terribly steep, so I'm enjoying it. And it's quiet. I ran into a guy who goes by the name of Old, and he's maybe in his early 70s or so, and he said it's taken him 5 years to complete this trail. He's got just a couple hundred miles left, and I had seen him I think about 3 weeks ago in a southern portion of this trail, obviously. And so it's just really cool, inspiring to see somebody commit to something like this for that length of time. So now I am coming up on Hogsback Ridge Shelter, and looks like I've got 10.1 to Bald Mountain, which is where I'm aiming for the evening. So a bit of a ways to go. Sometimes it's a really strange thing to come down out of the mountains after a few days in the wilderness and see something like a highway with people moving at 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. It's a bit strange. It's loud and people are just going so fast. And I don't remember being a part of that life, even though I've only been gone for almost a month from the fast-paced world. It's a little weird feeling like an alien here. Big trucks, and there's a sign for over there that says Tennessee welcomes you. So again, I must be right on the border between North Carolina and Tennessee. I'm not exactly sure when we permanently cross into Tennessee, but I guess I haven't yet. So I'm just gonna walk up the road here. I think this is the way we go, and then we're gonna have a fairly aggressive uphill 6-mile climb ahead of me. So this is where my decision for the evening is gonna come into play. And it's the sign up there says there's a welcome center in 6 miles. It's kind of funny. I could walk 6 miles and go get a soda or a coffee or something out of a vending machine. Or I can go this way and walk 6 miles and sleep in the forest with the birds and the squirrels. Very odd. All right, just came up a mountaintop, and this is cool. You got a pretty awesome view of the mountain ridge over this little clearing. And if you look real closely, you can see, looks like a bunch of houses or cabins off the top of the mountain there. I don't know if we're headed to that area, but looks like that's a pretty cool place to stay if we end up in that area. Awesome. This is the view from the top of Big Bald, 5,500 feet up. And I think that is the trail leading forward. You can see down there to the campsite for tonight. Another couple miles.